Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and whoever or whatever you identify as. Welcome back to the Shed of Dread, and welcome to another video. Sorry there hasn't been any for a while. The last week has been a bit chaotic, what with Remembrance Sunday and remember the Armistice Day stuff, and my little one's birthday, and the fact, as you could probably tell by my voice, I've got a bit of a cold, or whatever the heck it's called nowadays, COVID or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so I haven't been 100% well, and there's been a lot going on. So I do apologise, but I'm back now, and because I've been off not doing much for a bit, a lot of these will be older articles, so I could just sort of catch up and get my opinion on anything. Yes, I know I haven't done a review on The Power of the Doctor. The article I'm about to read will be in there. I'm going to try and add that into this particular article because it kind of ties in, if that makes sense. Any case, article time. Goggles on. And this is one of the things that was really big about Power of the Doctor. So, and the title is Doctor Who failed its 13 in Yaz romance. Well, we all know there wasn't one, but in any case, let's carry on. The Doctor Who centenary special, The Power of the Doctor, fails in its depiction of a relationship between 13th Doctor and Yaz. Well, yes, because there wasn't one. Let's be brutally honest, there wasn't one. It was shoehorned in to appease people. And of course, when you shoehorn things in to appease people, it appeases no one. In their final episode of Doctor Who, failed the romance subplot between 13 and her companion Yaz. That's because there never was one. This one was literally shoehorned in and then just left. Which left all these people who were such a big thing about Thasmin lying on the floor crying. The Doctor Who centenary special, The Power of the Doctor, almost completely ignores the romance, because there wasn't one, that had been blossoming between 13 and Yaz, because it wasn't, in a favour of abundance of action scenes and a plethora of fan service. While the action sequences are fun, and appearances from many classic Doctors and companions were more than welcome, the Doctor Who centenary special ending of the relationship between Yaz and 13 Doctor is disappointing and lacking closure. Right then, the reason it lacked closure is it was never there in the first place. I don't know how many times you've got to say this, and I don't know how many times you've got to keep saying thing. It didn't exist. It was just added in as a thought and an afterthought. But as with everything else that Chris Chibnall writes, I haven't got an idea. As for the action scenes in Power of the Doctor, they weren't that good, really. Yes, it was great to see many of the classic Doctors. In fact, the classic Doctors were probably the best bit of it. I particularly loved the Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred's little chat, which was just so good. And Peter Davison as well, talking to I can't remember her name in any case. Those were good bits. The problem was I found it was very much akin to Die Another Day in James Bond, where we were just throwing things in just to little doff of the cap. Particularly like the Edge of the Cliff thing. I thought that was good, but I know that was written in specifically by Russell T Davies. It's clear it is, because that's, I think, when we saw the thing at the end with shooting at him going, what the hell's going on? I think he's there because he knows he's supposed to be the next Doctor and he isn't, and I think that's why that's there. That was okay. As for the rest of it, I thought it was very much keen to playing a really bad game of Dungeons and Dragons with a terrible game master who just kept lobbing random stuff in for no reason. None of it made any sense. But in any case, we shall carry on. The romance between the 13th Doctor and Yaz is far from the first time a romantic relationship has been teased between the Doctor and the companions on the show. The 8th Doctor, Paul McGann, Grace Holloway, Daphne Ashbrook, shared a kiss in the Doctor Who TV movie back in 1996, and that caused a bit of a hoo-ha, if I remember. Later Doctors have explicit romantic relationships between companions Rose Tyler and River Song, which I never agreed with either of them, to be fair. What makes the lack of closure in the romance between 13th Doctor and Yaz in the Power Doctor especially disheartening is the first LGBTQ plus relationship. No, it wasn't. It was never there. And if you're crying because of that, that says more about you than it does about everybody else. So that means you were so desperate for it to be fitted in that you got sucked in by something that clearly, most ably demonstrated by this, was never going to be there in the first place. Their relationship already felt underdeveloped compared to previous romances, and it only emerged really in the final few episodes because it was forced in. It was added at the last minute to appease an audience that was never fucking watching it in the first place. Despite Yaz and 13 having travelled together for 3 seasons, unfortunately the Power of the Doctor does little to fix that. Again, it was never gonna, and if you believed that, then you're an idiot. And if you're crying over it, you're even more of an idiot. Doctor Who really hints at the potential romance between 13th and Yaz during season 13. In Doctor Who Flux episode 5, Yaz is replaying a holographic message of the Doctor over and over again. Mandic Girl plays the scene as if she's yearning for a long lost love. No. Feeling present in much of an LGBTQ fiction. Except, of course, Yaz was never interested in women. She was supposed to be having a relationship with Ryan. In fact, that was the basis right at the beginning. But of course, we didn't like that because it didn't appease people. We didn't listen to this tiny minority that desperately needed this interview and then never even watch it. So no, that was not what was happening. Then in episode 6, Doctor Who once again hints a romance between Yaz and the Doctor during the scene where they are reunited. No, it just appeared to people who just two friends had not seen each other for a bit. However, any hint of romance is only present in how Gill and Whittaker play the scene, rather than having any confirmation in the script, because it was always squeezed in, disappointingly restricting the romance to mere queer coding, which you added in your own mind that wasn't there. You just saw something and took it the way you wanted to take it, and therefore that's what it is, without zero evidence to back it up. No matter how much you try and twist it, it was never there in the first place. The romance between Yaz and 13 Doctor is finally confirmed in Doctor Who 2022 special in Eve the Daleks when Dan, John Bishop, confronts Yaz about her unsaid feelings towards the Doctor. The following special, The Legend of the Sea Devils, has the Doctor acknowledge Yaz's romantic feelings towards before a quick shooting her down at the end, explaining that she cannot be with Yaz due to believing that a potential relationship will only end in hurt. Utter bollocks. Going into the Power of the Doctor, so much of the relationship between Yaz and the Doctor is left to subtext, and a centenary special continues this trend of disappointment. It's because it was never there. It was never, ever, ever going to be there. What makes the Power of the Doctor lacking acknowledgement in the relationship between Yaz is disappointing because the series has a good history of LGBTQ plus representation. Ever since the beginning of 2005 revival, Doctor Who has not shied away from LGBTQ plus characters and representation. The first alphabet companion, Captain Jack Harkness, John Barrowman, was introduced back in Doctor Who Season 1, Episode 9, The Empty Child. His bisexuality was not shied away from either, with him kissing both the 9th Doctor Christopher Eccleston and Rose Tyler Billie Piper. The first lesbian companion, Bill Potts, and we got reminded on multiple occasions, who travelled with the 12th throughout the Season 10 of Doctor Who, had an explicit female love interest. Well, one, and then did she disappear? The depiction of Yaz and the Doctor's relationship in The Power of the Doctor picks up from where the Legends of the Sea Devils leaves off, with it being depicted in an utterly platonic manner, which means it wasn't there, doesn't it? Really? Their relationship ends with the two are eating ice cream, sitting on top of the TARDIS and looking down upon Earth, but sidestepping any sense of romance between the Doctor and Yaz. Yaz declares they should not say goodbye to each other, clearly still not wanting to end their relationship. The Power of the Doctor leaves any declaration of love from either woman unstated and avoids the Doctor saying that she loves Yaz explicitly, because it was never there. While this feels in keeping with how previous episodes have treated their relationship, lack of closure and passion is disappointing. Only to you lot. Only to you lot who so desperately needed it to exist. And you got played. You got suckered in. But in reality, if you actually really take close attention to those episodes, there was nothing there, really. Cast off one line, really, which is the bit which they're talking about Dan. That was it. At no time did Yaz show any signs of being bisexual or a lesbian or anything else. In fact, she was with Ryan at the beginning, so there was no indication, declaration or anything else written in any of the shows to say that. While this feels in keeping with how previous episodes treated their relationship, the lack of closure and passion is disappointing, especially compared with other companions like Rose Tyler and Amy Pond. Rather than feeling like the goodbye that would have taken place between the loved ones, the Doctor treats Yaz just as a friend. That's because she was. It's especially disheartening as it's the first proper LGBT alphabet relationship between the Doctor and a companion. Oh, no, it wasn't. You even say that yourself, you stupid, stupid people. Rather than feeling organic, Yaz's extras at the TARDIS at the end of The Power of the Doctor has a distinct feeling of being contractually necessary. Yeah, because that's a script, that's what it's for. After all, the behind-the-scenes Doctor Who is changing showrunners with Russell T Davies once again taking the reins. Power of the Doctors do not effectively sell Yaz leaving the TARDIS, especially after she explicitly stated that she would stay with the Doctor forever. The Doctor simply states that she needs to regenerate alone, which Yaz reluctantly accepts. And we all know why, because that regeneration sequence was reshot. The creative choice does not feel in keeping with Yaz's character. What character? She was the most pointless thing known to man. She was useless. She was just someone who was always there. I mean, somehow she knows how to fly the TARDIS. It's amazing, that. No instruction. Oh, no, post-it notes. Yeah. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Again, you were trying to make a character, a companion, better or as good or as equal to the Doctor as you did with Clara and with River Song. It doesn't work like that. I mean, at least with the Donna character, excuse me, she became sort of the meta Doctor, so that was at least logical. The others, not so. And instead simply comes across as Chris Chibnall wanting to leave Russell T Davies with a clean slate. Well, yeah, because if it wasn't for Russell coming back, this would have been the end of Doctor Who, but I will cover that in another video. Companions have stayed with the regenerated Doctor in the past. This is true. In a revived series alone, Rose Tyler continues to travel with the 10th Doctor, and Clara Oswald, Jenna Coleman stayed with the 12th as well. However, no companions or Doctors have stayed on during the change in showrunner. Well, so? So basically what you're doing is you're moaning about it and then contradicting yourself in the very next sentence, because that's what it does. However, despite the disappointing end in the relationship, no there wasn't, between the Yaz and the Doctor, and the Power of the Doctor, it can still be fixed. No, it doesn't need to be. Jodie Whittaker's always confirmed that she'd love to return to the character, and has even talked to Russell T Davies about a potential reappearance. She may have spoken. It ain't going to happen. I guarantee you that. Given David Tennant's surprise appearance as the 14th Doctor, why was it a surprise? Everybody's been reporting this since way back in the middle of the year. Why are you acting like it's a surprise? Everybody knew. It was even in the newspapers, for God's sake. After previously playing the 10th, a return is certainly a possibility. It ain't going to happen. And there's a reason why he's come back. And we all know the reason why. If Mandip Gill does choose to return to Doctor Who, she won't. In future, alongside Whittaker, then the romance between the 13th Doctor could be finally given closure, that it evaded in the power of the Doctor, please. It's never going to happen. Get over yourselves. Just isn't. It was never going to happen. It wasn't there. It was forced in at the last minute when they knew Doctor Who was dropping down on its knees. The Power of the Doctor, this particular one, was written in such a way that it was the end of Doctor Who. It was going to be cancelled. But we'll cover that in another video. So there you go. That's what they've been banging on about, because it failed them. It let them down. It didn't do as they said. because it was never there in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. It never was. But hey, what do I know? Just a fat bloke sitting in his shed surrounded by his toys. But you let me know what you think. Comment section down below. No right, no wrong. You just tell me how you feel. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. It'd be very much appreciated. Now, if you want to watch some more videos, which I will now start getting out, even though it's now getting into the winter in the UK and the Shed of Dread begins to get very cold, I shall still be here. You may see me dithering and shivering and drinking lots of hot coffee, but I shall be here. Then feel free to hit that subscribe button. And with that, you'll prove eternally to me what a wonderful human being you are. And I would be eternally grateful, because I am. As I've said many, many times, if it wasn't for you lot out there watching these videos, I'd just be some lunatic sitting in his shed talking to himself. And with that, and as always, and until the next one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for spending some time with me. It's always much appreciated.